Welcome, Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for joining us this morning. This is our meditation part of the service. It's how we start every Sunday morning. My name is Marianne Atwell Hardy, and I'm going to do a reading. We'll have some quiet meditation. I'll bring you out of meditation after about 15 minutes, and then our service will start at 10:45. So in this moment, I invite you to get comfortable wherever you are. Wiggle around in your seat, do whatever it helps you to feel grounded. Oftentimes, I like to open my hands. If I open my hands, I'm much more willing to receive, which is the idea for our meditation, is to receive whatever downloads, whatever peace, whatever love or joy comes to us. So at this moment, I invite you just to take a very deep breath and sigh it out. And another deep breath. And sigh it out. And one more deep breath in. And sigh it out. I'm going to read this morning from Ernest Holmes' 365 Days, Science of Mind. And from Psalm 86, verse 12, I will praise thee, O Lord my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify thy name forevermore. Ernest Holmes says, I turn my thought to joy, which I know is vibrating through all life. Through my own being, in my innermost mind and heart, I reach deep into infinite being and hear the song of gladness that sings through all manifestations of life. I know it also sings in me as I give it expression. I feel the throb of life in all the harmony of form around me, in tree and flower and grass, in blue sky and clouds, in the beauty of evening sunset, wherever I look and feel the underlying joyous note that life sings and that comes to its accumulation in God's perfect life. Now, deep within my innermost being, I attune myself to this God consciousness being, which I truly am. I permit God's perfect idea of me to manifest, to flow forth into expression. I know that I, God's perfect child, cannot contain grief, sadness in harmony. I know that in my true self, I am joy, for I am God life. My life is buoyant, vivacious, sparkling, free. It contains all good. It is unity, perfection, love. And so I know that nothing can make me, the real me, sad or dejected or heavy-hearted. The way is made clear before me, and it is filled with joy and harmony. I am peace. I am love. I am power. I am vitality and strength and all good. And so it is. And now we can each just close our eyes and let those words sink in. staying in that open, receptive, receiving mode, knowing that at all times and in all places, God's love and abundance is pouring through us. Sitting with the wonder of that truth, knowing that we are always guided, supported, and loved. So I invite you to come back into the room if you're ready. Take a deep breath. Inhaling the love, inhaling abundance, inhaling wonder, and letting go of all that does not serve. I thank you for participating with our meditation service, preparing ourselves, preparing Sophie's, preparing the larger world for what comes next. So we will see you at 10:45. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living. Whether you're sitting here with us at Sophie's Grill and Bar, or whether you have invited us into your homes through the power of live streaming, thank you very much for joining us. We're very grateful to have your presence with us today. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Dusty Rippelmeyer, and I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior minister of this amazing community. We are part of a larger organization called Centers for Spiritual Living. Now, Centers for Spiritual Living believe that there is one power and presence that is the creative power back of everything that there is, seen and unseen. Now, some of us might call that presence God, some might call it love, some might call it peace, some might call it nature. But really, by whatever name we give it, it is benevolent presence. It is always ready, willing, and able to give us the kingdom of heaven on earth. It is everywhere at all times, in its fullness and in its wholeness. So what that says to me is that right where I am, God is. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm connected to it in ways that can never be separate. It is that which breathes me, that which sustains me, loves me, supports me, guides me, and guards me. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely true for each and every sentient being on the planet. Each of us is a divine emanation of the divine, here to be its ambassadors on the planet in our own unique and really wonderful way. Another thing that we really believe is that because God is creative and we were created in its image and likeness, then we too have this ability to create. And in fact, we do. We are creating our experience of life each and every single moment, whether we know that we are doing it or not, because it can happen consciously and it can happen unconsciously. So for me, that's the really good news. If I don't like the experience of life that I'm having right now, I have everything within me to change that, to think a different thought, have a different belief, make some different choices about my actions, and thereby creating a new experience of life. We gather together on Sundays and through Zoom on Wednesdays and through classes and other social events to support each other on our spiritual path. And so we're very grateful that you have chosen to join us today. I have a couple of quick and important announcements for you this morning. The first is a save the date announcement. So everybody get out your phone or your calendar if you're like me, still old school. We will be having an important town hall meeting on Sunday, bless you, on Sunday, February 20th from 2:30 to 4 o'clock. From 2:30 to 4 o'clock. The meeting will be held on Zoom so that everyone may attend. We will be giving an update about the state of our community in all arenas and addressing any concerns or questions that you might have. So please consider joining us for this important date, Town Hall meeting, Sunday, February 20th. We'll send out a link as we get closer to that date. The second announcement that I have is, I spoke about it last week, is that we are looking for a couple of people who feel called to serve on the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living Leadership Council. For those who feel called, it's a very wonderful and significant way to serve and to give back to the community. For those of you who may not know what the Leadership Council does, especially when we're talking about for a spiritual community, the explanation is very multifaceted. On one hand, the council could be a working council, meaning that there are times when we're going to roll up our sleeves and actually do some of the work of the everydayness, the everyday activities of running the church, such as restoring Sophie's after we get done with a service. The council may also participate in taking on projects to fundraise. And those fundraising could be for just a general, in a general sense, such as we did for Gourmets for God, or it could be a special fundraising event, such as for a building fund. The council can also be involved in policy making or visioning, or setting intentions, or reviewing the vision or the mission statements or our purpose statement that we read every week, or in strategic planning. And lastly, and probably the most familiar to anybody that is familiar about a leadership or a council or a board, would be the purpose is the legal and fiduciary responsibilities of the church. So they are the stewards of the financial health of the community. Now, typically, unless we need to meet for a special meeting for something, we meet one time a month on the first Thursday of the month from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, and we are currently meeting on Zoom. The term is for 3 years, and while it involves very little actual time commitment, it does involve a lot of intention and a lot of consciousness and a lot of love. The prerequisites include having been an active, loyal, and supportive member of our community for at least a year, and also that you have taken the foundations class, which is the first of our classes that talks about our teaching, the principles and the practices of our teachings. So please look into your heart and see if you have a yes to throwing your hat into the ring as a leadership council candidate. And please contact me either by phone or by email if you do have that yes. And so what I'm knowing is that there is someone sitting out there that is very excited about this opportunity and very excited to join us, really, especially as we are stepping into a brand new year and thinking about creating a brand new way of being in that year. So please get a hold of me if you are. I would also like to just take a moment to thank Marianne Hardy for her absolutely beautiful meditation to set the container for the rest of our service to unfold within. And speaking of Marianne Hardy, let's please welcome her back up to the pulpit.
Good morning. Our theme for the year 2022 is Living Everyday Wonder. Our theme for the month of January is Living Everyday Wonder. And Rev Dusty's talk title is Wonder, Wonder Everywhere. I'm now going to read the community's purpose statement, which is our reason for being here. Our purpose is to inspire, educate, and empower individuals to experience themselves as unique and individualized expressions of God, the love intelligence that governs the universe. We are committed to not merely a theoretical understanding of our oneness and unity with God, but to practice this everyday truth in our lives. Through celebration, service, study, and fellowship, we are committed to the transformation of our personal lives and to being a powerful and beneficial presence on the planet. With the energy of unconditional love, simply, we are here for God. Ooh, all right. So now I just ask you to get quiet, turn within for a moment, just to open our hearts and minds, our ears to what's next. So if you will do the sound of the healing bowls and let that wash over you.
I'd like to invite you to bring your attention back into your bodies and back into your rooms. And now, the Triangle Center for Spiritual Living honors the diversity and threads of truth that run through all spiritual paths as represented by this ceremony. Please welcome Betty Courier and Michelle Nowak, who will be assisting us this morning. Christianity is the path of Christ consciousness, love, and forgiveness. Buddhism is the path of compassion and understanding. Judaism is the ethical path of living by sacred law. Baha'i is the path of unity and peace. Islam is the path of submission to the will of God, the highest calling. Confucianism is the path of deliberate tradition. Taoism is the natural way, the path of ultimate reality. Native American practice and shamanic traditions are the paths of primal spirituality. Shintoism is the path of tribal ancestry. Hinduism is the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. Science of mind and spirit is the path of divine principle of love and law. And the heart represents the one heart, the one love that resides at the center of all people and all beings everywhere with no exceptions. May peace prevail on earth through the followers of all paths. And so it is. Thank you. Now, if you feel comfortable, if you please turn within one more time, closing your outer eyes as I speak a word of blessing on this service. Recognizing in this moment the one spirit, the one power, the one presence back of all creation. Knowing that presence as love, as joy, as the experience of wonder. I know that I am one with it, that I am one with creation, one with love, peace, and joy. And from that place of unity, I speak a word of blessing on this sacred day and this sacred moment of celebration here at Sophie's. Blessing Reverend Dusty as she comes forth to share her message of embracing everyday wonder, knowing that Spirit speaks through her, and that as we open our hearts and ears, we hear exactly what we need to hear today. Speak a word of blessing on Cindy as she comes forth with her gift of music, blessing us with song and inspiration. And I bless Marianne Hardy as she led us in the beautiful meditation before service, setting the container for this time to unfold. And I speak a word of blessing on Ava today as she joins us in person to handle the AV duties. And blessing our community, each of you that are here at Sophie's, that are listening now, or that may listen to this service later, knowing that your presence in our community, your presence in each of our lives is a blessing, and that you are the reason that we are here that we offer this time to have these words of wisdom, to have this moment of fellowship, to take these steps to bring about this world that works for everyone. I am so grateful for this time and to know these truths, and so it is. The reading for today is from the late Reverend Dr. Ted Loder. He says, "Our inherent sense of mystery is in our irrepressible longing for something we cannot name but intensely miss. We are afflicted or blessed with a kind of insistent cosmic homesickness. It comes in moments of awe and wonder, at starlight or twilight, or a child's birth and unfolding, or the quiet peacefulness in an old woman's face, the surprising lift of music, a pause of self-recognition in Shakespeare, or the opening of the world in a line of poetry." And now, I welcome Cindy Johnson.
Thank you. And I want to throw some words at you. If you've ever been through illness, lengthy illness or grief, you know that your days are not normal. And this poem was shared with my husband when he was going through the ravages of cancer. And so I think it's apropos today, and it says, "Normal day, let me be aware of the treasure you are. Let me learn from you, love you, bless you before you depart. Let me not pass you by in quest of some rare and perfect tomorrow. Let me hold you while I may, for it may not always be so." It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach a seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable that every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today? Birds in winter have their fling, but always make it home by spring. It's just another ordinary miracle today. When you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close to your heart, 'cause we are all a part of the ordinary miracle. It seems so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sun comes up and shines so bright, but disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Ooh, it's just another ordinary miracle today.
Talk about wonder this week. I wonder. Really? Cindy says, I wonder. I wonder too. But so I just invite you to just stay open, because really the intention is to take it a little deeper today. It must be important. The theme for the entire year is living everyday wonder. And we're going to be looking at it right in 11 different arenas of our lives. But for today, we're just going to take another little deeper dive, and hopefully, we're going to all end up on the same page as we powerfully enter into this new year. So, living everyday wonder. Last week, I talked about that being the theme of the year, and I said that, as with most words in the English language, that wonder could be used as both a noun and as a verb, and that as a noun, a sense of wonder is a feeling of childlike delight, amazement, or inspiration at the natural state of the world around us. It's a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration, typically caused by something beautiful or unimagined or unexpected or unfamiliar or inexplicable. It's the positive feeling. Like if you think about the times that you've, really experienced a moment of wonder, it's that really positive feeling that just kind of like permeates through every cell in your body. Sometimes you get like goosebumps, or the hair on the back of your neck goes up. Sometimes I feel like I want to just drop to my knees. It just like permeates every cell of our body, and it makes us pause in appreciation for things like nature that are really greater than we are. As a verb, wonder can be curiosity or the desire to know something. Its synonyms can include to ponder or to think about. It drives that natural feeling of wanting to know more about the world around us, like a child with that innately curious mind. The benefit of wonder is that it gives us an opportunity to slow down, to pause, and to really experience the momentary magic that is happening every single moment of every single day, like Cindy talked about. And as we stop to smell the roses more, we begin to see the world through the eyes of a child, with that similar sense of wonder and excitement that they see their world. We approach our lives with innocence and with a beginner's mind. A sense of wonder leaves us with this insatiable curiosity. It encourages us to ask different and better questions about ourselves and about each other and about the world that we live in, which could really, asking those different and better questions could really change the trajectory of our lives and the world as a whole. As we marvel at life's wonders, we naturally push ourselves out of our comfort zones. And no matter what exciting endeavor that we might take on or what we might choose to explore, from that moment on, really, we're always walking in the direction of our highest and best life. Wonder's quite amazing, I think. Now, so moving forward today from what we talked about last week, moving forward today, wouldn't you tend to agree that very often the things that cause this feeling of wonder in a person are things that are labeled as miracles? Very often. Not always, but very often we consider them as miracles. Now, one of the problems with considering them as miracles is that miracles, by definition, are considered rare occurrences, or they're seemingly rare because the term itself suggests a violation of the laws of nature, or that some divine intervention has stepped in that would, in a situation that would otherwise be characterized as impossible. Can you agree about that, about miracles, right? So what I wonder is, do we hold off noticing and acknowledging the presence of wonder all around us because we're looking for miracles, because we're looking for those rare occurrences that sometimes happen? And because we're doing that, we're missing out on all of the moments that are the moments of wonder that are actually present in each and every moment of every day. We're missing out on them. Why is it that only when things seem to occur on a really extraordinary scale, or during the direst of situations, do we pause to acknowledge the possibility of a divine presence being at work in that moment, or being at work in that situation? Why is it only during those times? Now, while the inexplicable cure of a terrible disease or terminal cancer absolutely merits wonder and gratitude, what about the daily medical and scientific wonders that shape our experience of the world and our quality of life? Right? What about them? I mean, think about antibiotics or antiviral medication or vaccinations or blood transfusions or dental care. Think about eyeglasses for our vision or hearing aids for our hearing. Think about CAT scans or MRIs or ultrasounds or sonograms. Think about the amazing surgical technologies that are available today, like arthroscopic, a 2-inch incision, arthroscopic surgeries, or brain surgery, or heart surgery, or fetal surgery, or organ transplants. While avoiding a near plane or car crash is startling enough to elicit the description of miraculous, what about the fact that we live in a world where human creativity, technology, and the laws of nature align in such a way that allows for that transportation, that type of transportation, to even occur in the first place? What about that plane getting off the ground? What about that ship floating on the water? What about the sheer improbability that we can move thousands of people and thousands of tons of cargo across the globe every moment of every day relatively safely and with very little thought about it? While winning the lottery or coming into an unexpected inheritance or some other kind of windfall, or receiving the resources that one needs at a really critical moment in time, may qualify for the traditional description of a miracle. What about all of the other big and small ways that we are there for each other? What about all of the big and small ways that we support each other in the often unacknowledged or unspoken about ways and moments of daily life? By being on the lookout and hoping for miracles to occur in our lives, have we normalized? Have we normalized the things that are now considered everyday happenings that at one time, not too long ago, would have been considered miracles? Right? Now, I believe that that could be true, and I believe that we are doing a disservice to ourselves and to the world by doing that, by normalizing those moments, by normalizing those ordinary miracles, those ordinary things that happen each and every single day that we have become so accustomed to. The invitation here is that we do a better job of cultivating a sense of awe and wonder in the everyday miracles that we are too busy or too distracted or too illusioned or disillusioned to see and to recognize. We could do a better job of it. Daniel P. Horton says, this is what recognizing everyday miracles means. That God not only intervenes in rare occasions, but is present in a variety of human experiences at all times. At all times. So having said that, take a moment to think about it. Have you ever experienced wonder in your life? Do you remember what caused it? Do you remember what you were feeling or what you were thinking just before or during or just after that particular moment in time? Can you tease out of your memories how it influenced your belief about your spirituality or informed your belief about the world and your place in it? Can you tease out of your memories those kinds of thoughts? In order to really understand this amazing gift called wonder, we need to realize that wonder actually raises more questions than it answers. And it actually challenges our faith more than it confirms it. And while this might make us nervous or even fearful at times, it's the really, really good news because it expands our awareness. It dissolves our boundaries between each other. It expands our connectedness and it liberates our essential selves. It's so important to our growth and evolution to really notice the wonder that is happening all around us in our everyday lives and to sit with the questions that come up and to allow our faith to expand and to deepen because of it. Here's another question to wonder about. Do you walk around daily with your mouth wide open in absolute awe? No? I'm taking this laughter in this room to be no, I don't. So if the answer is no, it's really not too late to start. Wonder is everywhere present, just waiting for our recognition of it, just waiting for us to awaken to it. Now, it can be something like being excited by grand vistas or natural phenomenon or human intellectual or physical achievement or by really extraordinary facts and figures. But the truth of it is that we can encounter wonder every moment of every day. I mean, wonder is really in the car that we drive. It's in the house that we live in. It's in the dog next door. It's in that traffic light. It's in every person that we meet. We live in a wonderland that actually invites us to marvel at and to experience the magnificence everywhere we go and everywhere we look. It's just inviting us. It's kind of like taunting us to awaken to it. The bottom line is that we are surrounded by and immersed in awe-inspiring beauty, wholeness, and perfection. The universe is abundant and resplendent. There are no limits to the magnificence of the wonder that Spirit has created. Every person, every flower, every animal, every plant, every rock, every drop of water is a necessary and glorious part of the whole that is the divine. That is the divine. The more we orient ourselves to the wonders that we encounter daily, the more we are going to recognize and to appreciate everything as an aspect of ourselves. That we are going to appreciate all of them as parts of ourselves. And the more we do that, the greater the capacity we have to love and the greater the capacity we have to experience joy. Eckhart Tolle says it's not uncommon for people to spend their whole life waiting to start living. Many of us simply go through the motions of daily living completely unaware of the beauty that surrounds us and the beauty that is within us. We wait for something spectacular or rare to inspire us. However, the truth is that something spectacular has already inspired us. Has already inspired us, has already breathed life into us, and continues to breathe us, maintaining us and sustaining us with each and every single breath that we take. Something spectacular has already inspired us. We don't have to wait for that moment. Therefore, if we are not walking around with our mouths constantly agape in wonder, then perhaps we should start paying more attention. Joseph Campbell, in his book, The Power of Myth, says, I think what we are seeking is an experience of being alive, so that our life experiences on the purely physical plane will have resonance within our own innermost being and reality, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. I love that. Feel the rapture, so that we actually feel the rapture of being alive. Woo! Many have heard of this word alchemy. Alchemy is recognizing the extraordinary is inherent within the ordinary. The extraordinary is inherent within the ordinary. So it's really revealing of what is already present within. So, right, the butterfly exists within the caterpillar. The mighty oak exists within the acorn. An orchard exists within an apple seed. Awe and wonder are present in even the most modest and ordinary of things, an acorn. With a bit of practice and creativity, seeing the world with curiosity becomes a natural part of our worldview. And as it does so, we tune into the majesty that is all around us. We can tune into it. Mary O'Malley, in her book, What's in the Way is the Way, writes, true alchemy is about transforming unconsciousness into consciousness, transforming unconsciousness into consciousness. So one form is transmuted into a higher form as its truest essence is revealed. The ordinary is really extraordinary. The more we're conscious of our own truest essence, our divinity and our oneness with everything, the more every aspect of our individual lives is transmuted into a higher expression of life itself. It is in the daily that we encounter divinity. It's in the daily that we encounter divinity. Pablo Coelho, in his book, The Alchemist, says, "The world is the only visible aspect of God. And what alchemy does is to bring spiritual perfection into contrast with the material plane." So the bottom line is this: God created an awesome world, and all of us were created with a capacity for wonder. We're hardwired for wonder. And our hearts are always being captured by something. Right? Yesterday, Heather and I saw a movie, and my heart was captured by that movie. Everything, every created moment of wonder is meant as an opportunity to point us to the divine. And to tap into this capacity or this opportunity is everyone's lifelong pursuit. Right? That return back home to our divinity. Ernest Holmes, in his book Ideas for Living, says, when a person stands in awe of grandeur, something deep within him responds. Something within him embraces the ocean. Something within him melts into the mountains, and he becomes one with them. Right? We say that's deep, calling unto deep. The CSL Global Vision says, we envision a world that has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. Now, each and every single one of us can participate in that intention by putting our attention on the wonder that is in our lives. And by doing so, we can assist in bringing forward that intention, in manifesting that intention, in realizing that intention. Valerie Kaur, in her book See No Strangers, says, wonder is the wellspring of love. Wonder is the wellspring of love. When we orient ourselves to wonder, it then becomes possible to not only wonder about ourselves and our own world, but to wonder about other people and about their world as well. We begin to sense that they are as vast and as complex as we are. When we choose to wonder about people that we don't know, we begin to expand our circle to those that we see as part of us. If they're part of us, even though we haven't met them yet. It draws us closer and increases our capacity for empathy and for compassion. Wonder is where love begins. She also says this about love. Love is more than a feeling. Love is a form of sweet labor, fierce, bloody, imperfect, and life-giving. A choice we make over and over again. And when we think that we have reached our limit, wonder is the act that returns us to love. Another part of the CSL Global Vision says, we see a world in which each and every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with God and connection with each other, a world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. Right? Choose that love again and again and again and again. A higher state of consciousness and action. And when each of us does our part and puts our attention and intention on wonder, then we can assist in bringing forward that intention, that global vision. Wonder reveals our oneness, our interconnectedness, and our interdependentness. Everything began as a divine idea, right? Everything began as a divine idea, and each and every form is an expression of the divinity that is behind that form, that is back of that form, that created that form. The invitation is to notice the interconnectedness, to see beyond the world of form to the divinity back of it. Now, one could say that it is the failure to wonder that creates separation, that creates distrust and violence in the world. It is a failure to wonder that affords abuse of life and of the planet. Guru Nanak, founder of the Sikh tradition, calls us to see no stranger. This is a high call because it means loving others even when people don't love us. It means wondering about other people even when they don't reciprocate that wonder. There's a story about Guru Nanak that I'm going to share this morning. 5 centuries ago, so the story goes, is halfway around the world in a village in Punjab on the Indian subcontinent, there lived a young man named Nanak. Now, he was deeply troubled by the violence around him. The Hindus and the Muslims were in turmoil. One day, he disappeared on the bank of a river for 3 days. Now, people thought that he was dead, or, that perhaps he had drowned. But Nanak emerged on the 3rd day with a vision of oneness. The oneness of humanity, the oneness of the world. The vision threw him into an ecstatic state of wonder, and he began singing songs of devotion, praising the divine within him and surrounding him. In other words, he was in love. Love made him see with new eyes. Everyone around him was a part of him, even those people that he didn't know yet. I see no stranger, said Guru Nanak. I see no enemy. He taught that all of us could see the world in that very same way. Sounds like some other teachings we've heard. He would say that there's a voice inside each of us that is the voice of the divine. It resides, I love this, it resides in a bowl that holds our own individual consciousness. Now, that might look and that might seem like that's a whole lot of bowls and that's kind of separating, right? But that separation is an illusion. When we quiet the chatter in our heads through meditation or through chanting or through singing or through dancing, the boundaries begin to disappear and the bowl breaks. For a moment, we taste the truth. For a moment, we are part of one another and joy, pure joy rushes in. Long after the moment passes, we can choose to continue to remember the truth of our interconnectedness. We can choose to remember that we belong to one another. We can choose to see no stranger. Wonder dislodges us from the center, from our place at the center of the universe. That place we think we have at the center of the universe. When we get glimpses of nature or we have a particularly spiritually uplifting experience, our place in the cosmos looks much smaller. Now, that's not to say that because it looks much smaller that we are insignificant, because we are not insignificant, but it merely is stating that we partake in realities in which we are only a small part of a much larger design. We realize that we are part of a greater symphony of things, a bunch of things all working together. And when that happens, we recognize that we have a greater place and a greater purpose in the world because of that. Nobody can do that part that we do, right? In that same exact way. Wonder makes us more altruistic. If we recognize ourselves in the wide spaces of the universe, then our participation is more likely to include others. If we retain a sense of astonishment at the miracle of existence, then we're more likely to value the presence of others. If our mere life is a source of wonder, then we're more likely to honor the phenomenon of that life in other people. By drawing us out of ourselves, wonder reconnects us with something greater than our daily grind. It's that ultimate homecoming, that ultimate return back to home, the return to the world that we came from, a world that we are really in grave danger of taking for granted, of completely missing altogether. The CSL Global Vision also states, we envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life, a world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. Through our attention to wonder, we can participate in and assist in bringing forward this intention, this global vision. We can participate in creating a world that works for everyone. The invitation today and all of the days of the rest of our lives is to be open to the presence of wonder. As we navigate our lives, to really look at and experience the seemingly everyday occurrences that are actually astounding if we were to take a moment to really think about them, to really appreciate them. When we do this, that which causes the experience of wonder actually becomes transcendent of our everyday lives. And it really can be as simple as this. Wonder is a quality of spirit, a quality of God. And because God is everywhere, wonder is everywhere. And so it is. So it is. So I just invite us to turn within to that center of our being, to turn away from the world of form, and to allow our attention and intention to drop into that core of our being, the spark of the divine, our Christ consciousness. And it is here that I feel the presence. It is here with my eyes closed and my attention turned inward that I recognize and am acutely aware of the presence of the divine within me and surrounding me. I have no doubt that I am one with it, that it is who and what I am at my very core. That right where I am, God is in its fullness and in its wholeness. And that is a miraculous thing, a wondrous thing, an amazing thing that fills me with joy and excitement and love and peace. And just as I know that this is my truth, I know that it is absolutely true of each and every single person sitting here at Sophie's, each and every person watching us live online right now, each and every single person that will watch this service at some later point in time, each and every sentient being on the planet. And it's from that place of unity that I speak these words about and for each and every single one of us today, truly knowing that we can live our lives recognizing the wonder that is present in each and every single moment, that we do not have to wait for a miracle or a rare occurrence that happens sometimes if we're lucky enough. No, wonder is here and present everywhere we look, in every moment, because the divine is everywhere all of the time, without exception, in its fullness and in its wholeness. So I can be assured, we all can be assured, that there is reason for our mouth to be agape. And so I claim ease and grace for us around living that life, around living a life that affords us the benefits that living a life of wonder affords, that of recognizing and connecting with each other in ways that are not possible if we don't recognize that. Living our lives from a space of connectedness rather than separateness. Living our lives from a space of joy and deep love, for wonder is truly the wellspring of love. Living a life in which we ask different and better questions, which allows our lives to blossom and to expand and to evolve and to become everything that we were created to be, individually and collectively, and knowing that as we do so, we collectively create a world that works for everyone. And how wondrous would that truly be? I'm so grateful to know this truth and to speak these words. So grateful for the power of prayer, knowing that these words are loosed into a law that only ever says yes. That my words are clothed in form even as they are spoken. And so I speak them and I release them into that law, into the action of that law, letting go and letting God be God. And I invite each of us to anchor this prayer for ourselves, for each other, for our community, and for the world, simply by saying, and so it is, and so it is. Amen. Amen. It is now time for me to move this out of the way and for us to do our offering. So now is the time that we financially offer to support this community, to continue to be a beacon of light and warmth in the greater Triangle area. Knowing that as we do so, that our gifts, however big or small, add to the experience of sufficiency on the planet. They really help this community to prosper, and they also prosper the one that is giving. For as we give, so shall we receive. Giving and receiving are truly one and the same. So there are a number of ways that you can give, and they're up here on the slide. Visit our website at www.trianglecsl.org. Up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a button, and you just click on that. It says Give. You can text GIVE to 919-230-8445, or you can also write a check and send it to PO Box 4062, Cary, North Carolina, 27519. Again, thank you so very, very much for your gifts. And so I just invite everyone to place their hand over their heart with their gift or just with an intention for this community. And please say our offering as it comes up on the slide, our offering blessing in a call and response. I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I live in an abundant universe that blesses and prospers my life.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
I give with gratitude, knowing that God is my source.
And so it is. Thank you all so very much for your gifts. And now, speaking of a gift to us all, please welcome back to her piano the amazing Cindy Johnson.
I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I walk around with my mouth agape and say, what a wonderful world. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Woo. If you would like prayer, we invite you to please go to our website at trianglecsl.org. And on the homepage, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner. Click on that button and fill in the request form. We will get that prayer and send it out to all of the ministers and practitioners. And if you have something wonderful coming up in your life, and I know that you do, please take that opportunity to let us all know by dedicating a flower dedication. You can contact myself at info@trianglecsl.org or Reverend Dusty at dustyrippelmeyer@yahoo.com. And that way you will provide lovely flowers for our service. And then if you're here in person, you get to take them home. And we invite you to join us live at Sophie's Grill and Bar the first Sunday of every month as we celebrate everyone born during that month. We did it last week and it was lovely. The Sunday flower dedication will be dedicated to all who have birthdays that month, and we would love for you to join us in person so that we may honor you. Next, I am so excited that we are back this year for our annual Super Bowl and chili cook-off. Woo! Please save the date. It will be on Super Bowl Sunday, February 13th, and we will be live in person at the Lodge at Crossroads, which is 200 Brisbane Woods in Cary, 27518. The cost is $5, or please bring a crock pot of chili for the judging, and that is always so much fun. It gets a little competitive, but usually no blood is shed. There will be cash prizes for the top 3 winners. The lodge will be open at 5:30 to start bringing in your chili and getting your chair in front of the TV. And then game time is at 6:30, and we'll be there through the end of the game. And I'm also excited for our next class offering. It is called the Healing and Manifesting Your Greatest Life Through the Practice of Spiritual Mind Treatment. And I can't think of a better tool to have in our lives. This will be facilitated by our amazing Reverend Dusty. And it's actually called The Art and Science of Spiritual Mind Treatment, which is a much smaller title. It combines the principles of science of mind and the practice of spiritual mind treatment. And the class offers a dynamic training opportunity for students to engage in intentional manifestation and allows one to heal, overcome challenges, and change the conditions of one's own life and in the lives of those around us. The class is 8 weeks, and it will be held on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 9 p.m., beginning Tuesday, February 15th. And whether you have taken foundations or not, this is the class to learn the art and science of spiritual mind treatment, or to deepen the use in your own life. The cost is a mere $145, and payment plans are available. Please register on our website with a $25 deposit, and our website is trianglecsl.org. Now I invite you, in the comfort of your own home and those here in person, to please stand for our January affirmations. This is a call and response, and I invite you to please say it with meaning and repeat after me. Spiritual living is a way of life that happens every moment of every day.
Spiritual living is a way of life that happens every moment of every day.
The wonder of spirit is everywhere in my daily life, just waiting for me to live it.
The wonder of spirit is everywhere in my daily life, just waiting for me to live it.
The more I orient myself to the wonders all around me, the greater my capacity to love.
The more I orient myself to the wonders all around me, the greater my capacity to love.
The more I appreciate the wonders as part of myself, the greater my capacity to experience joy.
The more I appreciate the wonders as parts of myself, the greater my capacity to experience joy.
I choose to approach life with awe and wonder, which transforms my experience of it.
I choose to approach life with awe and wonder, which transforms my experience of it.
I choose to approach life with curiosity, which encourages me to see the bigger picture.
I choose to approach life with curiosity, which encourages me to see the bigger picture.
I am present to what is and open to the limitless possibilities that are available.
I am present to what is and open to the limitless possibilities that are available.
I become what I practice, and all is well.
I become what I practice, and all is well.
And so it is.
So it is.
Woo, that was powerful. Thank you. Please be seated. Oh, please take another opportunity to turn within with me, closing your outer eyes if you're so comfortable. Oh, my heart is filled with the presence of spirit. And today has been a good God happening. This recognition of God as wonder, God as the quality of wonder, and knowing that we are all one with that. I am so grateful for this day, for this message that will lift us all up through the week to recognize the wonder in everyday moments. I'm grateful for each of your presence here and for this community, and so it is.
Thank you all so very much for joining us here at Sophie's. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. Have a really amazing and wonder-filled week. I love you all. We'll see you next Sunday.